I'm Denise Liebetrau, founder of Prosper Consulting. Welcome to Compensation Talk. Today, I want to answer one of the most common and most costly questions I hear from leaders. Should we pay less in cities where the cost of living is lower? The answer sounds simple. It isn't. By the end of the next few minutes, you will know the difference between cost of labor and cost of living, why confusing them quietly drains your budget, and the two questions to ask before every pay decision. Let's get to it. Here's the question I hear almost every week from executives. Our cost of living is lower in this city. Can't we just pay less? It feels reasonable. It sounds fair. And it's one of the most expensive misunderstandings in compensation because confusing cost of living with cost of labor either quietly inflates your payroll or costs you the talent you need to hit your growth targets. Neither one is a good outcome. So let's define the two clearly because they're not the same thing. Cost of living is what it costs your employee to live in a location: housing, groceries, taxes, healthcare, childcare. It is about their personal expenses. Cost of labor is what it costs an employer to hire the skills you need in a location. It is driven by supply, demand, competition, scarcity, and where your company chooses to position itself against the market. One is about the person, the other is about the market. When your pay strategy blurs the two, your budget and your credibility both take the hit. Let me make this real with a scenario. Imagine you run a coffee company with locations in 2 United States cities. Same job, same skills, same role. City 1 is San Francisco, City 2 is Seattle. Which city do you think pays more for barista? Most leaders instinctively say San Francisco. Higher cost of living, higher cost of everything. So higher wages, right? Let's look at the actual numbers. First, let's confirm cost of living. According to the United States Bureau of Economic Analysis, the Regional Price Parities, the most current index, San Francisco sits at 115.6 versus a national average of 100. Seattle sits at 111.1. So yes, San Francisco is more expensive to live in than Seattle. That part of the intuition is correct. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here is the wage data. According to Indeed job postings for 2025 and 2026, the average barista in San Francisco earns about $20.59 an hour. In Seattle, that same barista earns about $22 an hour. Seattle costs less to live in and pays more for the exact same job. If you priced pay to San Francisco's cost of living instead of Seattle's cost of labor, you would be underpaying baristas by roughly 7%. That's a talent problem and eventually a retention problem. This shows up in 4 decisions I see every week. 1 is geographic pay differentials, where leaders set the wrong premiums or discounts by location. 2 is salary ranges for new locations built to a city's cost of living instead of its actual labor market. 3, remote work pay policy, where companies anchor pay to where the employee lives, not where the talent competes. And 4, board and CFO defense, when turnover spikes in one region and payroll spikes in another, and no one can explain why. Each of these is fixable, but only when you stop pricing pay against the wrong benchmark. So here's your leaders framework. 2 questions to ask before every pay decision. Question 1, what does it cost to live here? That's housing, taxes, childcare, groceries. It matters for your employees' quality of life, and it does not set your pay. Question 2, what does it cost to hire here? That's supply, demand, and competition for the skills you need. That is what sets your pay. Cost of living tells you about your expenses, and cost of labor tells you about your market position. Ask both, price to labor, and you will protect your budget and your credibility at the same time. Here's what you can do right now. If you're working through this decision for your own team, email me directly at denise.liebetrau@prosperconsultingllc.com. Let's have a conversation about your compensation project. If you want the frameworks, data, case studies I use with clients, go to prosperconsultingllc.com/compensation-campaign and sign up for my newsletter. I'm Denise Liebetrau, founder of Prosper Consulting. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode of Compensation Talk.